Hi, my name is Garner Hamilton, and I will be talking about events and holidays that impact life in Brazil today, how the economy has turned around since 2014. Brazil is a country in South America. In fact, it's the largest country in both South America and Latin America. With over 200 million people, Brazil is the fifth largest country by area and the sixth most populated. Due to mass immigration from around the world, it is also one of the mass immigration from around the world. It is also one of the most multicultural and ethnically diverse nations. Every 4 years, the world stops to watch FIFA World Cup. Countries travel from all over the world to compete in one of the most elite soccer tournaments. The host changes every 4 years, so so it's always fun to find out where the next one is going to be. I will be talking about events that have happened within Brazil and one of the significant holidays celebrated in Brazil. I have been researching about Brazil and what kind of holidays they celebrate. I have also looked into events such as the 2014 World Cup and the 2016 Olympics that were held in Rio, Brazil. I also researched how these events affected the country of Brazil as a whole and their hopes for a boost in the economy, tourism, and reputation of their country. Brazil has serious issues with crimes. Gang violence and homicide rates are high in Brazil. Police brutality and corruption within the police force are extensive. Brazil prides itself from soccer. They've brought us some of the greatest footballers ever. Pele, Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho are just some of the stars that started in Brazil. Some say some say this is the country of football because it is their lifelong passion. The World Cup of 2014 was the most expensive in history, at a price tag of around 11.5 billion and 3.6 billion in taxpayer money going towards the stadiums. FIFA wanted only 8 host cities, but Brazil used 12 to spread the wealth at the games throughout the country. This turned out to be a negative because the money was spread too widely to where it would appear as a failure of organizational structure. The hope was for an inflated economic impact from increased tourism after the Cup. With infrastructure not solid, personal safety being horrible, and riots ensuing in the streets, people weren't that eager to travel back to Brazil for the 2016 Olympics. Because of the state the country was in and the exorbitant expense to go to Brazil, what's the point of going if there are bad relations? Brazil is known for its poverty-stricken slums called favelas, and there is also a relatively high crime rate in these places. The World Cup didn't promote any positive change due mostly to the fact their focus was on making money. Masking a country's issue and economic and social problems with an event such as the World Cup doesn't solve them at all. Now let's see how the 2016 Olympics had an effect on Brazil. The cost for this event is estimated to be roughly $13 billion, which is about the same looking at past hosts of Olympics. The cost exceeded Brazil's budget, but they counted on that money coming back soon after these two events occurred. Of course, there are benefits that come from these events, one of them being 120,000 jobs created for the World Cup and Summer Olympics. This helps jobless people work and generate money to put back into the economy. Railroads, roads, and marinas were all improved to help the efficiency of Brazil and keep them going economically. With the Olympics happening, over 85,000 policemen were patrolling the streets of Rio. All of the athletes were very well protected. The organizers promised free tickets to the less fortunate, but instead the tickets were given to the families of the volunteers and not the residents of the favela. Like these events that brought people to Brazil, one of the main celebrations that is held in Brazil is their carnival. This festival is held between the Friday before Ash Wednesday and Ash Wednesday at noon. This marks the beginning of Lent, the 40-day period before Easter. During this time, Roman Catholics and some Christians do not eat meat as a part of their Easter commitment. This is where the word carnival comes from, carnalevere, or to remove meat. Participation in costumes vary from city to city in the southern cities, like Rio. They have huge organized parades that are watched by the public. This carnival was influenced by the African Brazilian culture. The people followed the trios elétricos, which is a float with a stereo system and a spot to perform on. This is the most popular holiday in Brazil. The country unifies for almost a week and goes crazy day and night. This carnival drew almost 4.9 million people in 2011. The samba is the most popular music style of Brazil. Samba music gives off a warm, vibrant mood. The music style soon became Brazil's official music after it was played throughout Carnival on the radio. In conclusion, Brazil has had events that have affected their economy and the way of life within their country. Their events and holidays have an impact of the Brazilian society. The World Cup and Rio Olympics have played a massive role in changing the ways of the society. More jobs have been created from these two events. Brazil has fascinated me, and I'd like to go to Brazil one day during the time of the carnival and see what life is like during that amazing time.